Okay, in this video, we're going to figure out what the first four terms of these different equations are. So the first one we're going to start with is a to the n equals 3n plus 4. So to find the first term, we usually write the first term as a to 1. All I need to do is substitute the number 1 in place for the n. So then we just do the math on it. So a to the n, or a to the first term, is 7. My first term is 7. Then we're going to do the same for my second term. So basically, all we're doing here is plugging in 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4 for each of the equations. So let's go ahead and finish this up. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4. So my second term is 10. We're going to continue on down for A3. 3 times 3 plus 4, which equals 9 plus 4, which of course is 13. And then one last term, a to the 4th equals 3 times 4 plus 4. So that is just 12 plus 4, which equals 16. So that's it for our first equation. Now the second one, there is a little bit more going on here. Okay, so in this one you'll notice there's an n in 2 spots, and that's okay, that can happen. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to go ahead and say the first term equals negative 1 to the first power times 3 to the first power, or 3 to the first power, take away 1. So then this just equals negative 1 times 3 minus 1, or negative 1 times 2, negative 2. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and do this for a to the second, or our second term, negative 1 to squared times 3 squared minus 1. Again, we're just substituting in for our n the number 2, or whatever term we're at. So for this one, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. 3 squared is 9. So 9 minus 1 is 8. And then multiply by 1. Of course, that is 8. And then I'm going to do the third term. So negative 1 to the third power times 3 to the third power minus 1. So we have an odd exponent, so that means this is going to be negative 1. Negative times negative is a positive, and then a positive times the last negative would be negative. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, of course, is 27. So 27 minus 1 times negative 1. So negative 1 times 26, or negative 26 here. All right, one more term, the fourth term. So we'll go negative 1 to the 4th power, 3 to the 4th power, minus 1. This just turns into 1 because we have an even amount of negatives. They all become positive. 3 to the 4th power is the same as 9 times 9. So this is just going to be 81 minus 1, which equals 80. Okay, so those are the first 4 terms for B. So now let's look at this one. This is a little bit different. For this one, if my n is odd, I'm going to use this top equation. If my n is even, I'm going to use the second equation. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at what that looks like. So my a to the 1 is odd, so I'm going to use the top equation and go 2, again, substitute in, minus 1. So this is 2 minus 1, which is just 1 for our first term. Now my second term, 2 is an even number, so I'm not going to use the top equation. I'm going to use the bottom equation. Plug in 2 for n. So 2 over 2 plus 2 is the same as 1 plus 2. 2 over 2 is just 1. So this equals 3. So there is my second term. Okay, my third term, I'm going to need to go back and use the first equation, 2n minus 1. So this is going to be 2 times 3 minus 1, or 6 minus 1, which is 5. And then for my last term, my fourth term, this is even, so I go back and use the even equation. So n, which is 4, over 2 plus 2. So 4 over 2 is the same as 2. So 2 plus 2, this equals 4. Okay? So this is how we find terms of our sequences. So just be careful with negatives and positives and choosing the correct equation for your n. And that's it for this video.